Hey family, let's go through this recipe for pizza dough real quick, all right? So what you're gonna need for the pizza dough recipe is about 6¼ cups all-purpose flour. You need 2 teaspoons dry yeast, 6 tablespoons olive oil, 5 teaspoons sugar, 2½ teaspoons salt, 1¾ cup water, give or take, and you know what? All the love that you got. So what you need to start by doing is taking your water, room temperature, and add your yeast to it. After you add the yeast to it, you allow it to sit. You'll see it starts foaming up after a few minutes. Once it's foamed up, set it to the side. Then you'll take your flour and you will add it to your mixer. Make sure all that flour is in there. And you're going to go ahead and add your dough hook at this time as well into the mixer. And then you get your dry ingredients. You turn the mixer on, add in your sugar, and you will allow it to mix through the dry flour. Add in your salt. You'll also allow that to mix in just a little bit. Then what you want to do, you want to take your water and yeast mixture, start pouring it in there, but before you pour all of it in there, once you get a little bit left, you want to stir it up, making sure you get all the particulates from the yeast. Add that into the flour and let it start mixing. Take your olive oil, add in the 6 tablespoons of olive oil, and allow that to mix. Now, on the lowest setting, you're going to allow this to mix until it all comes together to make, I guess, not really a dough ball, but it's all coming together. There's nothing dry left in there. At this point, what you want to do, come back to the mixer. You'll go to setting number 2. Once it's mixed for a few minutes, you want to stop it and then touch the dough ball. If it's sticky, you want to add a little more flour, but you want a nice spongy texture to it. So once it's got that spongy texture to it, continue mixing on speed number 2 for a few minutes, probably about 3 minutes or so. After 2 to 3 minutes, you're going to go ahead and go to speed number 3, which is a higher speed. And at this point, on speed number 3, you allow it to mix for a few minutes, and you have yourself a good old-fashioned dance party. As your dance party is coming to an end, what you want to do is to remove the bowl. Feel your dough. You want to make sure that when you roll it around in the bowl that it's not sticking to anything. Again, if it's sticking, you want to add just a slight more flour and continue to mix so it doesn't stick anymore. You want a nice spongy, non-stick to your fingers consistency. Then what I usually do is I'll roll the dough ball out so I can measure half, cut it into 2 pieces with a good old-fashioned dough cutter. And I'll take that ball and I'll kind of knead it a little bit. Take it in my hands and basically squeezing my fingers together, creating a nice smooth top of that dough ball. And you'll know, take the dough ball once you finish. I want to show you how to do this kneading thing because you want to really create that nice smooth top surface of that ball. You take it in your hands and you're pushing in with your fingers and kind of spreading the top with your palms. This creates a nice little ball. You take it, smooth it out, give it a little pat. There you go. Nice and smooth, just like a baby's butt. Take it down there, pat them down a little bit. Then what you want to do is you want to take a little Cambro, get some oil mixture, spray it on the bottom. You also want to spray the sides. Then you take your dough balls, and you're going to kind of space them a little, I guess, evenly apart. There you go. There's some more padding there for you. Space them down. You can push them down a little bit because they are going to rise. They're going to get bigger. But then you want to take some oil and you also want to spray the tops of these doughs just in case they connect. But the dough will also allow it to stay moist and so that it won't crack. Then what you do is you get some film and you want to cover the entire Cambro with the film. But make sure that when you cover it, you have a good seal all the way around. Okay? Nice and good. Now, it's just time. Allow your dough ball to sit anywhere between 1 and 3 hours, depending on the temperature. If you want to extend the rising time of it, just place it in the cooler, and it'll take a little bit longer. But once it's rise, it'll double to triple in size, and you're ready to go.